This week we read Parshat Chayei Sarah, and Chayei Sarah presents us with a study in contrasts. It comes on the heels of one of the most substantively and emotionally packed parshiot in the Torah. Parshat Vayera deals with questions of justice, righteousness, morality, destruction, savior, and ultimately sacrifice. By contrast, Parshat Chayei Sarah deals with very practical matters of the dead and practical matters of the living. It opens with Sarah's death and Abraham's negotiation of a proper burial plot to her, and it moves to the betrothal of Yitzchak and the negotiations that took place in that. And by contrast, the details of both of these negotiations, the conversations, the transactions that are included in the text lie in stark contrast to the momentous events that took place in Parshat Vayera. In particular, Perek Chaf Daled, chapter 24, the betrothal scene by which Eved Abraham trusts his most entrusted servant, his Eved, to be the chief negotiator and mediator in finding a wife for Yitzchak. Chapter 24 is the longest perek in all of Sefer Bereshit, including the details of the negotiation, the details of the conversation that just sort of pale in comparison with the momentous events that took place in Parshat Vayera. And all of that whole conversation, is done not even by Abraham himself, but his Eved, his trusted servant, who remains anonymous throughout. We never hear his name, he never is identified. And Chazal, the rabbinic scholars, note that observation in their comment in the Midrash in Bereshit Rabbah, where they say, Yafeh sichatan shel avdei avot mitoratan shel bneihen. The conversations of the servants of our forefathers are more important than the Torah of their sons. What the Midrash is implying is that the details of the negotiation are included all together to impress upon us the important role that the anonymous play, that the Eved Abraham plays in forging the future of the Jewish people, in moving the spotlight from Abraham to Yitzchak and the future of the Jewish people going forward. I think the message that Chazal are trying to impart, which is a larger message, is for us to pay attention to the roles of great magnitude that the anonymous play in shaping personal destiny and in shaping the destiny of society. There are countless people around the world working in conditions that are far from ideal. We don't know their names, and we don't see their faces, and we don't necessarily hear their voices, but they are affecting great change in ways big and small, whether it's in the factories in our backyard around the corner or in far-flung corners of Africa. And it's these people in these places, the anonymous people, Chazal are trying to impart upon us, is that these are the people that we must focus on because they change the history and the shape of the world. And though we may not know their names, and we don't see their faces, and we may not hear their voices, their honor must be celebrated. Shabbat Shalom.